third oral presentation is held by presentation number 24, Rajiv Devnath, and presentation number 27, Dr. Tripti Kumari. I think Rajiv is not there. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Congratulations to all the award winners, please. In the words of Acharya Prafulla Chandra, I quote, "Oxford and Cambridge, with their costly apprentices, will not do for us. In the rage for forms and furniture and machinery, we must not lose the substance. We cannot allow Mother Saraswati to be enmeshed in the toils of wood and brick and mortar and strangled to death." Unquote. Honorable Union Minister of State for Education, Dr. Subhas Sarkar, I now invite you to address the participants of this international conference and bless us all.
Namaskar. Warm greetings to all. On the dais, Professor Vidyut Chakraborty, Vice Chancellor, Vishwabharati. Dr. S.K. Varsney, Chief Department of Science and Technology. Professor Rajiv Singh ji and Dr. B.K. Singh ji, Professor Balaram Pani ji, Dean of College, Delhi University. भाई ताली तो बजना चाहिए ना? Professor Ashok Prasad ji, Head of the Department of Chemistry. Professor Ajay Kumar Bhagi ji, President of DUTA. Sri Madhav Govind ji, President Indraprastho Vigyan Bharati. And all the young participants, boys and girls. Faculties, esteemed guests, eminent speakers, and participants from different parts of India teaching. And if there is some non-teaching staff, students, and dear friends from the media, if anywhere. It gives me immense pleasure to join all of you here at the prestigious University of Delhi on the valedictory of International Conference of Acharya Prafulla Chandra as a chemist and freedom fighter. Though you have already covered 6 sessions, practically, I should attend the sessions and then I should deliver my speech in the valedictory session. But possibly you are getting a speaker who should be a student have become your professor. And I am really glad that the 2-day international conference has been organized on the work and life of Acharya ji. Science can wait, Swaraj cannot, and Acharya Prafulla Chandra, take your time to appreciate this quote by Acharya ji. It is full of patriotism and independence struggle motto. Acharya ji meant that Swaraj is the ultimate goal at that point of time in the freedom struggle. And his own interest in science can wait for the time being. He gave importance to Swaraj and dedicated his life for the nation and freedom. Yesterday, the 2nd of August 2022, marked the 161st birth anniversary of Acharya Prafulla Chandra ji Rai, an eminent chemist, educationist, historian, and industrialized. This is very important, all the young boys, I am telling for you. Philanthropist and a researcher. The conference is being held under the aegis of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, organized by Vigyan Bharati and Ministry of Culture in association with Indraprastha Vigyan Bharati and Department of Chemistry, University of Delhi. The conference aimed to expand the legacy and contribution of Acharya Prafulla Chandra Rai in society as a doyen of chemical sciences in India and his inspirational role as a freedom fighter. And I must say that the conference has been very impressive and has achieved its objectives. I have gone through the subjects and the name of the speakers. From that I can assume. Known as the father of modern chemistry in India, Prafulla Chandra Rai was a well-known scientist and teacher and one of the first modern Indian chemical researcher. He was born in Raruli Katipada in the district of Khulna in present-day Bangladesh. His father, Harishchandra Rai, was a landlord and his mother, Bhuvan Mohini Devi, were well educated with liberal views. They had an extensive library at home. When the family moved to Calcutta, Prafulla Chandra Rai fell ill and could not attend school. In this period of recovery, he got the scope to read the books in the library which was established by his father. And his journey was begun from that point of time. At that time he became teacher at the age of 12. And he loved biographies and history and would wake up very early at 4 o'clock in the morning to read his favorite books. We can remember it very early. Always he wake up in the morning to read his favorite books. His education started at the school founded by his father and was later completed in Calcutta. During his BA studies, he won the Gilchrist Scholarship, as a result of which he flew to England and enrolled himself in Edinburgh University in 1882. In 1885, he participated in an essay competition at the University of Edinburgh on the topic India before and after the mutiny. He was not awarded, but his essay was titled as The Nearest Approach to the Best. I am remembering few minutes before, the jury for the posters have told the same thing. All of you are very close to the first. एक ताली तो होना चाहिए ना भाई. That means all of you are very close to Prafulla Chandra Rai. To spread the message of enormities being carried out back in India by the British, he fearlessly distributed copies of his essay with an appeal to liberate India from colonial bondage. The Scottish newspaper, the Scotsman, remarked, it contains information in reference to India which will not be found elsewhere, and it is deserving of the utmost notice. Just think about, at that point of era, outside India, he created this environment. He gained his degree from Edinburgh University in 1885. Remaining at Edinburgh to undertake research, he was awarded a DSc in 1887, and the Hope Prize for this thesis on conjugated sulfates of the copper magnesium group, a study of isomorphous mixtures and molecular combinations. Prafulla Chandra Rai returned to India in 1888 and started looking for a job. There were two categories for fetching a job in IES. The imperial ones get higher salary, better privilege, and the job was mostly offered to Britishers, while the provincial ones got 1/3 of salary of the other. What happened? For a while, colored occupation in the colonial period, one had to get recommendation from eminent personalities in the same field. Despite the recommendation from renowned eminent scientist Acharya Rai was offered the provincial job after being jobless for a year. Rai did not like it and approached Sir Alfred Croft, the director of public instruction in Darjeeling, to which no actions were taken, and asked to leave the job. If he did not like it, think the condition of the day in India. Acharya ji then joined as temporary assistant professor in Indian Education Service in July 1889 at Presidency College with a meager salary of rupees 250 only, an absurdly low pay for someone with his qualification. In 1916, so many years are over, he joined the University College of Sciences, Calcutta, where he was able to carry out research with his students and is credited for shaping it into a center of excellence. It was during the time that his students started addressing him as Acharya, with love, with respect, and in reference to the knowledges they were received from their teacher. Acharya Prafulla Chandra Rai was a believer of practical knowledge. When he started teaching, he realized that by delivering lectures only, this subject like chemistry could not be made interesting to the students. So he started giving experimental demonstration along with the lectures in the class. Once he brought a bone in the class. Just to think about this. A teacher has come with a piece of bone and he began to chew in front of the students and explaining the composition of calcium phosphate in the bone. Just to think about it. Acharya would say, to be a successful teacher, one must have clean and experienced hands in the laboratory. He was very friendly with his disciple. He wrote in his autobiography, my relationship with my student is as subtle as a chemical affinity. As a chemical affinity, there is a different atoms, molecules affinity. I used to visit them often in their hostel rooms, and they were my constant companies in my maiden work in the evening. It is very fine example for the teachers nowadays. Acharya ji was a synthetic inorganic chemist with active interest in thioorganic compound, and his famous work was on the chemistry of nitrites. In 1894, he began an analysis of rare Indian minerals in his quest to discover new elements to fill the gaps in the periodic table. He reported the first ever synthesis of an unknown compound of mercurous nitrite, which he narrated as the discovery of mercurous nitrite opened a new chapter in my life. This compound was a fascinating example of two relatively unstable ions combining to form a stable substance. The Nature magazine wrote in its issue of May 28, 1896, a paper by Dr. P.C. Rai on mercurous nitrite that is worthy of note. This series of work laid the foundation of the first research school of modern chemistry in India. Acharya's work on nitrates is well known, and due to this he was known as Master of Nitrates. From 1921 onwards, he stopped accepting salary and requested Calcutta University to spend that money on development of laboratories. Just to think about such a low amount of salary, but he is giving that. Many students, mainly the poor, lived with him, and for achievers he established scholarship like the Nagarjuna Award and Ashutosh Mukherjee Award. On his retirement, he donated a huge sum to the Calcutta University for extension and development of facilities. Acharya ji was aware of the largely developed Indian industries. Now we are coming to another chapter. All the students and the researchers, if they are, this is the another chapter of his life. We should understand and we should recall and we should try to establish in our life also. And that was existing, an Indian industries he entered into, existing before the appearance to the British. He thought about the Indian industries, which was a huge amount before the Britishers came to our India, who designedly, and Britishers designedly destroyed the native manufacturing to promote their interest. This is very important part. Under an outsider and an aggressive ruler, gradually Indians lost the alleviation and bid to set up any new venture. Rai believed in modernizing education, ushering industrial revolution in Indian products and imparting skills to students to enable them to compete with the fast changing world. He constantly felt the need for a system of scientific self-reliance which would be run by educated Indians dedicated to the service of science. He continued to create and develop new opportunities, establishing the first research laboratory at Presidency College, the Indian Chemical Society in 1924, and the first research journals of India, the Journal of Indian Chemical Society. He affiliated himself with the Swadeshi-inspired National Council of Education. Acharya Prafulla Chandra Rai did not pick, mind it, Acharya Prafulla Chandra Rai did not pick weapons but he used science at his tool to shape and reform society. This is very important. He showered his life and wealth for the development of science laboratories, scholarship for young fellows. He bestowed all his life for nation building and inculcating scientific morals in the youth. In his autobiography, The Story of My Experiments with Truth, Mahatma Gandhi writes about Rai in the chapter. What is the name of the chapter? A Month with Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Please allow me to quote, he, Ms. Gokhale, Gokhale introduced Mahatma Gandhi, introduced me to all the important people that called on him. Of these, the one who stands foremost in my memory is Dr. Now he is Sir P.C. Rai. This is how he introduced Dr. Rai. This is Professor Rai, who having a monthly salary of rupees 800 keeps just rupees 40 only for himself and devotes the balance to public purposes. He is not and does not want to get married. I see little difference between Dr. Rai as he is today and as he used to be then. His dress used to be nearly as simple as it is, with this difference, of course, that whereas it is khadi now, it used to be Indian milk cloth in those days, unquote. My dear friends, we should draw inspiration from the life of Acharya ji and work tirelessly to uplift the society and help in the nation building process. This conference brought different aspects of Acharya Prafulla Chandra Rai ji under one roof and provided opportunities to exchange ideas, to establish research relations, and to find regional partners for future collaboration. To me, he was a revolutionary in the garb of a scientist. I am also in the view of Acharya ji that Acharya ji was also one of the earliest risk takers. My dear young friends, I am again telling, he was one of the risk takers and entrepreneurs who started Bengal Chemicals and Pharmaceuticals Limited, India's oldest pharmaceutical company, way back in 1892 with a mere investment of, can you imagine, that was only rupees 700. He started that factory. This conference has paved the platform to bring together the academia, researchers, authors, media people, and practitioners from scientific organizations and industry to share on various life and things he achieved in his lifetime. Dear young friends, will you provide me some time so that I can interact with you? Possibly by this sixth session, you have gone through several aspects. The national education policy, even the holistic education. And I would like to ask you, whether is there any cordless? Cordless mic is there? If yes, नहीं उनको बाहर ऑडियंस में जरूरत है जो बताएंगे उसके लिए. From the young fellows, after completion of your study or research, in some way, if you have got a scope that all the needs for you to become an entrepreneur, that considering at that time he started with 700 rupees, you have two options, either to begin with 70 lakhs or 7 crores. Have you any imagination that what you would like to do in terms of Atmanirbhar Bharat, in terms of holistic education, what you are getting from your institute and from this country? Anybody? Anybody? बोलना तो चाहिए भाई, हम तो छोड़ेगा नहीं. हाँ, बोलेगा नहीं. हाँ, बस बस, yes, yes, come. It's my imagination. In between, no conversation, please. And the second one will be, question is being out beforehand. Just any research worker or any student, postgraduate or at any time, after of completion of your study and research, if you got a job having award, that means you can say it's salary, per month 1.5 lakh. What you will do with these in the first month of your salary, considering your understanding on the basis of holistic education? हाँ? क्या? Universities and नहीं, no, सब बताएंगे. देखिए, it's my experience. I have gone to repeated number of institutions in colleges, universities, and even the schools, Kendriya Vidyalaya, Navodaya. I hope you will not say. Excellent answers I am getting. Excellent answers. Yes, please. You also can do it. If you can, you will say that we are prepared for the second one. I will leave. I hope you will not say. Yes, please.
सर मैं
Please prepare for the second one.
नमस्ते सर. सर मैं पीएचडी स्कॉलर हूँ. जब मुझे पहली फेलोशिप मिली थी तो पूरी तो नहीं, पर मैंने आधी फेलोशिप अपने गांव के सरकारी स्कूल में दी थी. क्या?
Please repeat again. I cannot hear properly.
जब मुझे जेआरएफ की पहली फेलोशिप मिली थी तो उसमें से आधी फेलोशिप मैंने अपने गांव के सरकारी स्कूल में. सर आत्मनिर्भर भारत
This is the answer of my second question.
एंड फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन सर, अभी मैं प्रोफेसर राकेश कुमार शर्मा के साथ काम कर रहा हूँ.
थोड़ा स्ट्रेट रखिए और
मैं प्रोफेसर राकेश कुमार शर्मा के साथ काम कर रहा हूँ.
थोड़ा दूर रखिए थोड़ा.
तो हमारा डीआरडीओ के साथ कोलैबोरेशन है, तो वहाँ पर हम सिंथेटिक मीट पे काम कर रहे हैं. सिंथेटिक मीट में ये है कि हर कोई मीट नहीं खाता, पर बॉडी की रिक्वायरमेंट होती है. तो हम सिंथेटिक मीट खुद से बना रहे हैं लैब में, ताकि हमारे जितने भी न्यूट्रिएंट्स पूरे हो सके, खासकर आर्मी, क्योंकि डीआरडीओ डिफेंस के लिए काम करता है. और डिफेंस के लिए अभी हम इंपोर्ट करते हैं अमेरिका से, वो बहुत महंगा आता है, तो हम यहाँ पर खुद से सिंथेसाइज कर रहे हैं आर्टिफिशियल मीट फ्रॉम मशरूम से। तो ये आत्मनिर्भरवाद के लिए। थैंक यू सर।
Anyone?
Good evening, sir. Sir, I am an undergraduate student, so presently I haven't done anything, but I wish to go in the pharma sector. So, to establish a business on pharmaceuticals, especially on a drug designing laboratories, where lab technicians have a more respectable job. Apparently, I see that lab technicians have been looked down upon wherever they work, but we cannot function without them. So I would try to uplift them if ever I get the opportunity of going in the business line. And I would prefer taking the 70 lakh option because it is the beginning. So
दो आचार्य प्रफुल्ल चंद्र राय मिल गया. नेक्स्ट. Two more, because it is. Yes, sir. Why not? It is a pleasure. Please.
हमारा और 5 साल का नौकरी बाकी है. मेरा ये इच्छा है कि आफ्टर रिटायरमेंट I and my son we will open up a company where we are going to make instruments which are made in India. We do not want to import instruments from abroad, spend crores of rupees. Instead, I would make instruments in India. Thank you.
Say one more.
सर मैं आपके फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन का आंसर देना चाहूंगी. सर जितने भी
मेरा
हमारे
क्वेश्चन नहीं. दिस इज नॉट माई क्वेश्चन.
ओके
मैं क्वेश्चन एक आध बार मैं भी खुद बता दिया. दिस इज एन अपील.
ओके सर. सो सर जो भी आप हमको अमाउंट देंगे 7 करोड़ का, तो सर क्या होता है कि जो हमारे रूरल एरियाज़ में जो बच्चे होते हैं, अभी जैसे चल भी रहा है जो एस्ट्रोलॉजी के तरफ, मतलब बच्चों को थोड़ा ज़्यादा कि आप स्पेस में उनको थोड़ा इंटरेस्ट लाने के लिए ऐसे लैब्स बनाए जा रहे हैं और ऐसी पेंटिंग्स करी जा रही हैं वहाँ पे कि बच्चे अट्रैक्ट हों टूवर्ड्स दी स्काई, ताकि उनके अंदर क्यूरियोसिटी बढ़े. तो ऐसे ही हम केमिस्ट्री की भी लैब सेटअप कर सकते हैं ऐसे एरियाज़ में, ताकि बचपन से ही बच्चों को इंटरेस्ट आ जाए साइंस के अंदर. तो आगे जाके ये होगा ना कि हमको और शायद पीसी रे जैसे और हमको महान लोग मिल सके अपने इंडिया के अंदर. तो हमको थोड़ा जल्दी स्टार्ट करना पड़ेगा इस सब के बारे में, ताकि इंटरेस्ट बने लोगों का.
Check. Thank you all. You have participated, and I hope everybody can speak. And this, actually, holistic education is this: what you are getting from your parents, from your village, from your society, from your institution. You have to give it back to all of them, to the society, to the country, by any form. And if you be an entrepreneur, you have to be such an entrepreneur that which will make our Bharat as Atmanirbhar Bharat. Since we are passing through Amrit Kal, I would like to speak on a very important points that concern celebrating the lives of all such great freedom fighters. All of you must have heard that clarion call given by our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji for the Har Ghar Tiranga. इसी में काम करना चाहिए. Everyone. ठीक है. Campaign a few days back. Har Ghar Tiranga is a campaign under the aegis of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav to encourage people to bring the Tiranga home and to hoist it to mark the 75th year of India's independence. Our relationship with the flag has always been more formal and institutional than personal. Bringing the flag home collectively as a nation in the 75th year of independence thus becomes symbolic of not only an act of personal connection to the Tiranga, but also an embodiment of our commitment to nation building. The idea behind the initiative is to invoke the feeling of patriotism in the hearts of the people and to promote the awareness about the Indian national flag. Let us put the Tiranga as our display pictures on social media profiles between August 2nd and 15th. I hope everyone, I am approaching to all of you, please, in your all profile picture, all status, please put Tiranga from today onwards. Let us further this movement by hoisting the national flag at our homes between 13th August and 15th August. Let us pledge to turn the campaign into a mass movement and celebrate the lives of people who own independence for us. Remembering the words of Acharya ji, we have achieved Swaraj, and how we must strive for excellence in every sphere of and reclaim the Vishwa Guru status of our motherland. In the end, I would like to quote our patriot saint Swami Vivekananda ji. The whole life is a succession of dreams. My ambition is to be a conscious dreamer, that is all. I will appeal to all of you, please be a dreamer, be a dreamer. Thank you all. Bharat Mata ki Jai.
A heartfelt thank you, sir, for your encouraging words. A detailed note on the life and works of Acharya P.C. Ray was definitely so inspiring. And interacting with the young minds in such an easy manner was really so encouraging. Our gratitude, sir. Now, to deliver the formal vote of thanks, I invite Dr. B.K. Singh. Dr. B.K. Singh, please.
On the desk, Dr. Subhas Sarkar ji, Minister of State Education, Professor Vidyut Chakravarti ji, Vice Chancellor, Vishwa Bharati,